Velká válka skončila. Jediné, co chceme, je vrátit se domů. Do nové republiky, která se zrodila v srdci Evropy. Jenže trčíme tady, protože sílící občanská válka blokuje přímou cestu na západ. Jediná cesta ven vede na východ přes území, o které bojuje Rudá a Bílá armáda. Musíme přejet Sibiř v obrněném vlaku a pak bezpečně doplout domů lodí. Je to naše jediná šance, jak tuto dlouhou cestu přežít. Možná to bude náš poslední vlak domů.
Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new series on the Core Gaming channel. This is called Last Train Home. And as you heard, this is not necessarily in English, because this tells the story of Czech, Polish, and Russian forces at the end of World War I. So it's going to be absolutely fascinating to move through this game and see what kind of goes on. This is such a unique concept, and I think this is what kind of drew me to it. In addition to the fact that I love, strategy games, and I've heard this described as a mix between several different genres. So, I think we're just going to go ahead and get into it. We'll start the new journey here. So just to go over options, we're just going to be doing everything normally. Difficulty, Commander. This is going to be the generic preset. So road trip is easy. Tactician is mostly focusing on soldiers. Quartermaster is mostly focused on the train. And then Commander is kind of the standard there. So everything's going to be 100%. So very, very normal. We can get a game over if everyone walks, unfortunately. But hey, I think that's going to be pretty much all. So other than that, graphics doesn't really matter too much. But here we are. Let's start a new journey here. We've already gone on this, so. And then it does look like in the bottom right corner, you can see that you can actually adjust the difficulty throughout the game. Perhaps. If not, then oh well. I'm happy to play in the way that developers intended, but, can be. So, let's go ahead and get started.
Během Velké války, které se později začalo říkat První světová válka, měla Československá legie za úkol bojovat jménem Ruska výměnou za podporu nezávislé Československé republiky. Válka si však vyžádala nesmírné ztráty na životech a hospodářský kolaps v Rusku, což zažehlo revoluci, která sesadila cara a přerostla v krvavou občanskou válku. Bolševici založili Rudou armádu, aby upevnili moc a vládu nad sjednoceným Ruskem, zatímco Bílá armáda vznikla proto, aby se Rudým postavila. Československá legie byla nyní ve velmi ošemetné pozici. Ozbrojená jednotka v cizí zemi, bez jasné příslušnosti k Rudým či Bílým. Západní hranice Ruska navíc stále ovládaly mocnosti, které založení Československa bránily. Československá prozatímní vláda proto legionářům nařídila, aby zůstali neutrální a vydali se na východ do Vladivostoku, kde se měli nalodit a plout zpátky do Evropy. Během evakuace přes transsibirskou magistrálu se však legie zapletla do ozbrojených střetů, které měly dopad na běh ruské občanské války. Nyní nás čeká příběh hry Last Train Home, fiktivního díla inspirovaného zápisky geniálního člena Československé legie a opravdového historického pramene. Příběh začíná u ambiciózního kapitána pod vedením majora Gazdíka, který vede poslední jednotku československých legionářů, která jede obrněným vlakem do Vladivostoku.
All right. So as the game has said, we are playing as a legion within the Czechoslovakian military at the end of World War I without a role, as there's no war to fight in, and yet there is a civil war occurring in Russia where you're currently stationed at the end of the war. So it's about your trip home.
Hlavu hore, kapitán. Treba skontrolovať vlak a môžeme vyraziť. Počul som, ako sa chválite, že budete lepší major ako ja. Nuž, uvidíme, ako vám pôjde velenie. Vezmite si čatu a vyrazte obchodovať s miestnym mlynárom, zatiaľ čo zvyšok legionárov bude strážiť vlak.
All right, so we're instantly on to the real-time strategy.
Ano, ano, pane.
So it looks like we have control of 4 units here. A sniper, a rifleman, a machine gunner, and a medic. It looks like each of them has their own name as well as their health bar. So looking at some of the other things that are available here, so we have our quest, we have the map. Overview of the mission HUD. Contains selection panel with soldiers, selected soldier info, panel with commands, objectives, notification logs, and the minimap. Alright. I think we can pretty much do all this. This is fairly standard RTS fare, which is nice. We can create mission groups or unit groups, which is good. Interestingly, each person has a unit of ammunition. So in this case, for example, the machine gun has 25 plus 225. My assumption would be that it's 25 rounds per magazine and an additional 225 in the back. But we'll see. We'll continue to move on that. So anyway, our first action is to go to the flour mills. So we'll go ahead and move that. There is what appears to be a cover system, reminiscent of something like Company of Heroes or Dawn of War.
To nie je dobré.
Rychle!
Mlyny sú zničené. Našťastie to vyzerá, že tu nebol nikto, kto by sa mohol zraniť. Unáhľajte sa a pozbierajte vrecia so zásobami potravín skôr, než tiež zhoria.
Alright, collect the food.
Podíváme se, co je uvnitř.
Áno.
So at this point we can collect the food directly.
Blíži sa zima. Kto so zdravým rozumom by podpálil mlyn? Musíme sa porozprávať s mlynárom.
Alright, taking a look at loot in missions. Explore the locations carefully, as you can find plenty of useful resources, such as fuel, metal, and cloth. Other items are also scattered throughout the mission, such as grenades, medical kits, ammunition, etc. Items looted during a mission are stored away in the shared stash. The capacity is not limited in any way, and you can check what you've looted at the top screen during tactical view, which you can press spacebar to access. From the shared stash, the soldiers also replenish their ammunition and combat equipment.
Statok nie je ďaleko. Poďme.
Okay. Sounds good. So, next objective, go to the farmhouse.
Ano, pane.
Unless it's, that's saying that this is the edge of the playable area. Okay, never mind. That is not our objective. We're going to move to the left here. It does look like things are highlighted if they are collectible, which is nice. So that gives us some additional food.
Myslíte, že je to mlynářův dům?
Ak je tam niekto nažive, je našou povinnosťou pokúsiť sa mu pomôcť.
Uh-oh. Looks like things are not going well at the miller's
Niekto tam
location.
leží.
Přišli jste zabít i mě?
Nie, pani. Sme československí legionári na ceste do Vladivostoku. Chceli sme nakúpiť zásoby vo vašom mlyne, ale keď sme prišli, bol v plameňoch. Kto to urobil?
Bolševici. Dožadovali se, abychom jim předali zásoby na zimu jménem Ledina. Můj syn odmítl. Musíme živit rodinu, říkal. A tak ho zabili. A děti taky. Ty vojáci jste všichni stejní. Umíte jenom zabíjet. Jděte pryč a nechte mě umřít v pokoji.
Jestli bolševici chtěli jídlo, proč nechali ty pytle schořet spolu s mlýnem?
O jedlo vôbec nešlo. Tak to dopadá, keď odmietnete spolupracovať s Červenou armádou.
That's crushing.
Červení, ktorí zapálili túto farmu, sa nesmú dozvedieť, že sme tu. Ale nesmieme riskovať vlak. Nájdite si dobré miesto a preskúmajte kolaje pred nami. Ak je tam nejaký problém, aspoň budeme pripravení.
Alright, so we've already witnessed a war crime, which is a great start. Our next task is to get to the vantage point here. Let's go ahead and collect some of the resources, excuse me. I don't know what these resources will be used for yet, but I think it's going to be important that we collect everything that we can. This game has been marketed as a survival game, so we'll figure everything out. Let's move our units up to the vantage point.
Niekoho s ďalekohľadom na tamten
And it
okraj.
looks like our
Prieskumníka.
scout or sniper
Hneď,
has
kapitán.
certain abilities which will allow us to see
Hej!
from here.
To červení zabili rodinu tej mlynárky a všetko spálili. Zaslúžia si smrť.
Vojak. Červená armáda sa bude zodpovedať za zločiny proti svojim krajanom. Ale nie nám. Stále sme na ruskom území a čaká nás dlhá cesta domov. Nechceme si robiť nepriateľov.
Nemluvě o tom, že diplomatické incidenty by mohly ohrozit naši novou republiku.
Dosť rečí. Naspäť do vlaku. Možno cestou nájdeme ďalšie zásoby.
As much as I hate it, they're right.
Připraven, pane.
You can't start a war you can't finish, and especially in a land that you didn't, this wasn't your fight to begin with. I'd love to point out, by the way, that the voice actors in this are speaking their native languages, and it is absolutely phenomenal. I can't understand a single word they're saying, but
Naši vojaci
It's
už
great.
dlho nevideli žiadnu akciu. Čo keby sme si urobili strelecké cvičenie so strašiakmi?
okay, we can attack some scarecrows.
To nie sú strašiaky. To sú vypchaté čarodejnice.
Pozor
Stuff
na
to-
Babu Jagu, matku všech čarodějů.
Baba Yaga,
Menej rečí, viac
as
strieľania.
said by a filthy American. I love it.
Rozumím.
Let's get our scout over here. Looks like we can. No, we.
Samozřejmě.
Interesting. Okay, no, we can queue orders, which is nice.
Při
Okay, so
rozkazu.
the scout does for sure have a sniper rifle, which is good. Our rifleman has a standard what looks like a Mosin Nagant rifle.
Vaše rozkazy, pane.
I don't even know what the machine gunner has, and the medic is abiding by the Geneva Convention roughly, but still has a handgun.
Rozkazy? Dobře.
So we'll see. We'll see how that works out in the future. This is seeming really fun. This seems kind of like Company of Heroes, but with a strategic aspect to it. Ah, this is exciting.
My legionári nikde nikoho nenecháme. Priveďte sem celú čatu, než dáte rozkaz na odchod.
Okay, and it does look like you can leave without squad members, but I am assuming that's gonna end up with them dead if we
Postarám se o
don't,
to.
leave them to be. I do see there's a side quest. We
Rozumím.
gotta finish the side quest.
Tu máš, baba.
All right, there we go. There we go. I don't know if that actually made any difference, but I just wanted to do it. All right, we'll go ahead and leave here. All right, and then after the mission here, we do have victory, and then it does look like each of your squad members will gain experience, which I'm assuming is going to be influential in terms of how they develop as soldiers. And as it says, the XP gained for completing mission objectives is divided among the individual soldiers. So it looks like each objective gives a certain amount of combat experience. And yes, I'm very happy that we did complete that side mission. Gave us an additional 500 combat role experience. So each soldier got about 625 experience. Fortunately, there were no enemies to truly fight here. We did gain 50 cloth, 30 food, and we used 2 ammunition from handguns and 3 ammunition from rifles. So very interesting. So this is definitely going to be somewhat of a survival game, despite the fact that it is so similar in certain ways to games like Company of Heroes, where you don't normally think about something like that. This could be very interesting in terms of, whether or not you want to get in a fight because you simply don't have the ammunition for it. But regardless of that, let's go ahead and leave this, and we will start the next mission here. All right, the journey begins. As you and the others board the train empty-handed, a discussion ensues about the recent events. Some feel enraged, some uneasy. You are lost in thought about the experience of being in command. Major Gazdik grabs you by the shoulder, snapping you out of it. And I do apologize in advance. I will likely butcher all of these names, but I'm going to do my very, very best. You did well, Captain, but you should stop bragging and start playing the role you hope for. Today you learned the bread and butter of commanding. Things never go the way you imagine. Maximilian says, we shouldn't have just let the Reds leave. They should pay for their actions, killing people, stealing, and destroying food. Magdalena says, our provisional government said we should avoid conflicts. We cannot go around passing sentences as we see fit. We need to follow orders. The situation was affected because Maximilian has the trait intelligent. Interesting. So each soldier's individual competency will start to affect the way that this campaign plays out. So Maximilian said then, look what they do to their own people. What do you imagine they'll do to us when we actually face them? Considering we're a sizable military force in their country while a civil war is brewing. And we have the option. We have to be neutral. We're soldiers. We need to follow orders. Or think about the consequences if we caught them red-handed as they kill civilians. I mean, I think both are true, but I think if we're supposed to be a captain, we have to abide by the law. We are soldiers and we need to follow orders. Maximilian says, either way, I bet they would scatter if we faced them. Gazdik responds that they'd be thrilled to see us there. I bet they'd tell everyone how a Czechoslovak legionaries shot an honest miller and his families, burned the mill, and left the food to be destroyed. And Barbara said, shall we proceed to Moscow then as planned, or are we expecting trouble? We will go to Moscow to pick up my future advisor, Captain Langier. He is currently working to negotiate our safe passage to Vladivostok. Joseph chimes in and says, let's hope the negotiation will bear fruit. Indeed, speaking of fruit, since we didn't manage to replenish our supplies, we'll stop at the next station to do so. Dismissed. And our next quest is on the line. The journey begins. So we need to go to Sukinichi, I'm going to say, to get more supplies for the long journey. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right, so this is the campaign map, so to speak. We get to pause or accelerate game time. And then let's go ahead and we'll pause here. And let's take a look at what we have available to us. So we can see the cars that we have available to us in the top left corner of the screen. So currently we have a hospital car, an infantry car, 2 infantry cars, in fact, a storage car, and an artillery car, as well as the locomotive towing bull. So we'll touch on those a little bit later. You can see here, for example, that we have quite a few options for recovery. We also have our doctors here, Victor and Anna. Our infantry car has our soldiers of those. So the 2nd infantry car only has the 2, Magdalena and Antonin. And then we also have many, many different soldiers in our 1st infantry car, which we'll, I'm sure, come to get to know as the campaign moves on. Our storage car has a capacity of 16,000 with a base of 10,000 plus shelves, wooden barrels, and large boxes. Artillery car has 2 soldiers working at the cannon post. One is at the night shift and one is at the day shift. So this is kind of important here as we're touching on a few of these individuals. So Anna is focused on the day shift from 6 to 1800, and Victor is from 1800 to 0600. Currently, we don't have any injured soldiers, although I'm sure that's not going to last very long, which is unfortunate, but here we are. Looking at our soldiers, though, we have Johann, Gustav, Josef, and Anna already focused on other tasks. So you can see that they are focused on them by the fact that their icons are kind of darkened out and show different areas. So we know, for example, that Anna and, well, perhaps not anyone else, but we know for a fact that Anna is both the medic and currently assigned as a doctor. And then as we look at the artillery car, Gustav and Roman are day and night shift, as we kind of already discussed. We don't have anyone on the machine gun post, so that may be something that we look at in the future. And then finally, the locomotive bull, we have 2 drivers and 2 stoking individuals. We've touched on them previously in the infantry car, but we have a day shift and a night shift. In addition to that, we have the locomotive strength, which means how many cars can be attached. So currently we have 5 out of 9. And then we also have an additional base storage capacity, which is 8,000 due to the raised walls. Okay. Top right is going to be all of our resources. So some of these: fuel, food, money, very generic. Wood, metal, cloth, herbs, and gunpowder are going to be used for various different things throughout the campaign. And then if we look down at the bottom, we can see we have an overview of our soldiers, including different traits that they have available, their status, rations, temperature, the schedule. This is highly strategic in the way that you use this, because I'm sure that if you bring someone in with no rations, no stamina, their temperature is very cold, they don't have, the right traits, this is not going to be a good deal. So I'm very, very interested to see how this moves forward. Looking at the soldier details, you can see also how you want to put them in terms of either their role, whether they are going to be trained, or whether they're in combat for certain things. So looking at the different soldiers here, we can see that they're trained in different areas, which is very interesting. You can also see that they are certainly trained in combat in some areas. And at the very bottom, you can see Magdalena, Antonin, Bedrich, and Maximilian all have combat roles, and because of that, they have lost some stamina from the last mission. So this brings in a certain level of balance in terms of you can't just use the same 4 people the whole game and make them, your only support. So we'll leave everyone as is right now. Our food is okay, and we don't quite know enough to say that it's not going to be okay. So in any case, we can also take a look at the speed of the train. So we can stop the train. We can run it at normal speed, which has average speed and efficient fuel consumption, and overdrive speed, which is fast with less efficient consumption and higher threat level reduction. Currently, there's no reason not to, so let's go ahead and just run it at normal speed. And we're going to be heading over to Sukunichi. I apologize in advance again for mispronouncing things. So it looks like squads must be deployed to explore points of interest. I don't see any points of interest, but that's okay. We do have idle soldiers, and perhaps that is important. So time is paused by pressing the spacebar. So let's take a look at some of these guys. So you could, how do we assign you to things? So we can take a look at the roles that you have available to you. Grenadier, machine gunner, medic, rifleman, and scout. I'm not necessarily sure that these individuals have roles available to them right now. We can't drag them. We look at the consumables. We do have some food available, but there's no reason to modify that right now. And it does look like, interestingly, some of the consumables, actually all of them, have different values. So if we give, for example, a vegetable salad to an individual, that will both feed them, which removes hungry and starving, give them morale, and also dexterity for 12, I'm assuming that's 12 hours game time. We'll see, of course, but soldiers can have multiple roles. Combat roles determine their deployment and missions, whereas train roles determine what work they undertake on the train. Soldiers can earn a new role for increasing their rank, which can be used to unlock a new role, should the soldier have the attributes for it. So then the attributes, right, fitness, dexterity, intelligence, willpower, and charisma. So each soldier is going to have a list of those, which is very, very interesting. And then they're also scheduled for different points throughout the day. So it looks like, for example, Prokop has a fitness, dexterity, charisma, and willpower of 4, and an intelligence of 3. We're not able to improve that until they level up. They can be temporarily affected by statuses or the use of consumables, however. Gaining a new rank from experience comes from missions and working on the train. For each rank achieved, the soldiers will receive either a role point, which unlocks a new role, or an attribute point, which increases one of their attributes. We've already seen their schedule, and then their statuses are health, morale, and stamina. In addition, we kind of touched on this already, but each character within the train has a set of traits. So they have their characters, their belief, and their nature. So if we look, each one of them has something unique. So if we look at, for example, Prokop, he is loyal. He can always be counted on. He believes in the monarchy, so believes that the rule of the divine monarch is best for the future, and supports the strong government and hierarchy. Some choices based on this may affect morale. And then looking at the nature of this individual. So he's slow-witted, so he has -1 maximum intellect. or intelligence, which we can see because everyone, it looks like, is starting relatively similar. So 4, and he has an intelligence of 3, but he is focused, which has a 15% increased work efficiency. So we won't go over all of these guys. It does look like most of them have some sort of role, but at this point, it doesn't seem like they have much that they can do. We'll see, though. I could be very, very wrong in that. And in fact, let's try and see, for example, if anyone can be added here. So we have Magdalena, who we could add as a doctor, and then Victor would be on the day slot. Not interested in that. Looking at the artillery car, we do have some machine gun posts idle, so in fact we can do that. I don't know any of these individuals here. Workers currently. Let's take a look. So we do have individuals who are idle. And to see that, we go to... Is it squads over here? No. Soldier details. Well, let's see if anyone's nature is specifically related to combat. Okay, David cannot take any combat role. Insomniac and Jinx. Religious and indifferent. Talented. All right. Anna has talented, which is super nice. Well, it doesn't look like, from what I'm seeing, that there is a particular preference towards one or the other. So we'll go ahead and pick... Oh, no, you are currently already assigned. We'll put Bedrich. Bedrich. Bedrick. I'm just going to guess. I apologize. I don't mean to mispronounce anyone's name. And then we'll put Maximilian here. Nope. Maybe not Maximilian. I don't know who is not assigned currently. Suppose we could always just check it. So who are you currently assigned to? Worker. Let's put you there then. Okay. All right. I think that is quite enough of learning how the game works. So let's go ahead and move the train forward. We are almost at Tsukinichi, and the train is stopping. The train stops several dozen meters before the station. There's another train blocking your path. As you and the others exit the train, you are greeted with grave silence and a few rifles aimed in your direction from near the station. Towards you, a tall Red Army officer is walking, accompanied by 2 soldiers. Adam from the Red Army. Greetings, Legionnaires. My name is Adam Morozov. Who is in command of your unit? Major Gazdik steps off the train and shakes Morozov's hand firmly. You glimpse his other hand resting on the hilt of his trench knife, a sure sign he smells trouble, and you know he is rarely wrong. Gazdik. Major Otakar Gazdik. I'm in command of this train. To what do I owe the pleasure, General? Morozov betrays a look of mixed amusement and satisfaction, evidently unsure if the major has recognized his rank by the insignia on his uniform, or through his reputation as a hero of the Great War. A mere coincidence. I was visiting my family nearby. Nonetheless, our encounter is most fortunate, as I have a proposition, one of mutual interest. What do you want, Morozov? Do tell, I'm all yours. Indeed, and that's how it should be, my friend, because it is in my power to ensure your safe passage through Russia. That is what you want, is it not? All you need to do is hand over your weapons. Gazdik, give up our weapons? To you? I don't think so. You'd probably use them to shoot us, and then burn the entire station to the ground. You are not the first legionaries to pass through here. Your countrymen handed over their weapons without incident. For your soldiers' sake, do as I ask, or you will regret it. Oh, I'm sure you intend to let us be on our merry way, completely unscathed, with a full belly and a happy heart. I've said my piece, General. Start shooting or get out of our way. It's your choice. Morozov stares silently at Gazdik. A few legionaries shift uneasily and unsling their rifles, which until now had been shouldered despite the obvious threat. Then Morozov slowly raises his hands and smiles. There is no hint of deception in his expression. He seems at ease, almost pleased. I appreciate your candor, Major. I think we both know where we stand. Until we meet again. And with a polite nod, Morozov turns away, and, followed by his soldiers, he boards the red train and departs. Everyone is a bit rattled. The departure of the train reveals the station. There, a disaster. And we have a mission. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so mission deployment. Recommended squad size of 5. A difficulty of 1 skull out of 4. And potential rewards of a new soldier, experience, fuel, cloth, and food. It is going to cost 8. What is that? I want to say stamina per soldier. And we do have an artillery strike available. So currently we get to choose a squad. So let's go ahead and choose one right now. We do want to try and avoid, if at all possible, bringing our other squad mates in. But unfortunately, it looks like we need all of the soldiers that we have available. All right, so we have Mejlik, Drap, Kura, and... okay, you know, I'm just going to go by their first names. Joseph, Maximilian, Antonin, and Magdalena. Of those, these were the individuals we brought back from the last fight, with the exception of Joseph, who was not in there. So he is going to be our grenadier, replacing our rifleman from the previous mission. And then each of them comes with a certain set of abilities. So the grenadier comes with grenades and stabilize. The scout comes with recon and stabilize as well. Looks like everyone comes with stabilize by default. Focused fire for the machine gun to increase accuracy and efficiency. And then heal coming out of the medic here. We can look at all of the different roles available to us, as well as certain different selections. Nobody has assigned combat role. Interesting. So that might be something that we look at in the future. But either way, I think we're happy with our squad right now, and we'll go ahead and confirm.
Niečo je zlé. Je tu príliš ticho. Vyrazte, ale majte oči aj uši na stopkách.
Alright, so it looks like immediately off the drop, we don't necessarily have a good set of individuals here. I see dead corpses. That's not good.
Ano, ano, pane.
Okay, well, let's keep moving.
Rozumím.
Červení nechali pár dědinčanů nažive. Myslím, že potřebují pomoc.
Oh, jeez. Okay, we have another medic here. And then we could potentially... So wait, you can collect a medical kit right now. So you do have 8 individuals with higher intelligence can heal faster.
Měním pozici.
Oh, so we can continue to heal this individual.
Ne.
Or alternatively, we use heal. The heal ability to heal them. Okay, that is how we do that. And we did collect this additional legionary, which is quite useful.
Sme československí legionári na cestě do Vladivostoku. Môžete nám povedať, čo sa tu stalo?
Rudá armáda si přišla pro rekruty a zásoby. Řekli jsme jim, ať jdou pryč, ale oni se jen smáli a sebrali nám všechno, co chtěli. Každého, kdo se jim postavil, zabili. Viděli jsme nákladáky plné dělostřelecké munice, jak jedou k řece. Bydlí tam moje sestra. Jsem strachy bez sebe. Pomozte mi, prosím.
Prišli sme nakúpiť zásoby. Nie sa zapliesť do ruských záležitostí. Ale červení na nás zaútočili už skôr a očividne tu nechystajú nič dobré. Vlak proste nemôžeme riskovať. Takže musíme ísť zistiť, čo sa tu deje.
Vyzerá to, že ten most sabotovali. Budeme ho musieť opraviť, aby sme sa dostali ďalej.
Nástroje a materiály najdete v nedalekém táboře. Přímo tamhle.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So, the plot thickens. We need to acquire repair kits. So we now have 5 soldiers in addition, so 4 of our regular, as well as 1 additional soldier, which I'm assuming based on the way that the mission talked, we may be able to recruit at the end of this. So, let's go ahead and move closer to this camp, which is up the hill, potentially able to... Oh, geez.
Měním pozici.
Are these soldiers?
Měním pozici.
They don't look like Russian soldiers. Perhaps they're just civilians.
Myslím,
Okay.
že to byl poslední. Jdu do krytu.
Certainly not pleasant for them, unfortunately. I
Poslouchám.
hate to say it, but is there a loot mechanic? I don't see that.
Ano, pane.
Okay. Combat is quite quick, it does seem, so we already took a little
Nepřítel
bit of
podle
damage
všeho
here.
zaujímá dobrou obranou pozici v plném krytu. Bez dlouhého dostřelu či granátů budeme muset na jejich pozici vtrhnout.
Okay, so, well, let's hold on then for a second because we do have grenades. So the enemy is in a hard cover. We are supposed to use the rifleman's bayonet charge, which we don't have. So let's go ahead and use a grenade here. Oh, or not. Oops. All right, well, we may have biased the game a little bit there, but I'm okay with that. So it does look like the rifleman has a bayonet charge, though, which I'm
Tady se to
assuming...
rudými jen hemží. Asi by bylo dobré zůstat v utajení co možná nejdéle. Hlavně nikdo nesmí omylem vystřelit. Střelba není zrovna nenápadná.
All right, so there is also a strategic mode here, silent mode, which allows us to potentially move quietly and without being spotted by the Red Army here. So as we move closer here, we'll use our scout to move up here and potentially perform a silent kill.
Nepřítel.
This is also a side effect.
Odpočívaj v pokoji, soudruh.
Jdu do krytu.
Okay. And then it looks like we do have 2 additional individuals over here. I don't see a third. So we could potentially get up
Zaujímám
here
pozici.
and then use 2 of our soldiers to get these. All right, tactical view. In tactical view, you can check important info and plan next steps. The game continues once the tactical view is deactivated by pressing spacebar again. While the tactical view is active, it is possible to queue orders by holding the shift key. Okay? So then the idea would be that we move each soldier. Wow. Oh, this is wonderful. So you can see all of the different locations that they can take cover in. Wow. I wish they had this in something like Company of Heroes. That's amazing. All right. So let's move all of our soldiers up here. We are missing one. Yeah. Okay. So let's move all of our soldiers here.
Měním pozici.
And then once we get there, so this might be a little too close for comfort, but once we get there, we'll take you and
Rozkazy.
you. I hate to say it, but our medic is going to have to do that
Já se o to postarám.
because you guys are close.
Dobre. Keď teraz máme tú hnusnú vec za sebou, pozrieme sa, aká zlá je situácia.
All right. Oh, so it looks like this is a medical station, so we can go ahead and move Antonin here. We can also get the repair kit.
Našla jsem opravářskou sadu. Teď máme, co potřebujeme k opravě mostu.
Perfect. All right, we could use the repair kit on the bridge here.
Čekám.
Which looks like it does occur relatively quickly.
Pokud je tady nějaká vyhlídková
And
věž,
then a watchtower.
měli bychom ji obsadit, abychom měli lepší přehled o okolí.
Měním
Okay, so
pozici.
everyone's moving still pretty quietly right now. But let's go ahead and capture this watchtower. I think that might be a role for our scouts. Unless it's just... Oh, no, it's an area. Okay, that's fine. I'll tell you what, then. We will back up our scout with our grenadier. Oh, you cannot capture strategic points while in silent mode. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take off silent mode here.
To sú určite tie nákladiaky, ktoré prevážajú delostraleckou muníciu. Musíme ich zastaviť.
Neexistuje nič, čo by nezastavil granát.
Hlavně nesmíme být moc blízko výbuchu.
Alright, so we have our next roll of destroying the trucks. Now, in order to get through that, there's a couple ways that we need to do things. First and foremost, we have an additional grenadier here, as well as a support technician.
Vaše rozkazy?
Let's go ahead and use our grenadier that's right there to toss grenades.
Odistiť, zahodiť!
Very nice.
Ten most vyzerá ako dokonalé miesto na prepadnutie. Ďalej by sme mali pokračovať až potom, čo zistíme, čo by nás mohlo čakať na druhej strane. Nemá niekto ďalekohľad?
Excellent. Well done. Well done, troops.
Rozumím.
And then we can recon the area beyond the bridge here. Let's go ahead and bring... So it looks like we have an additional 2 troops, bringing us up to 7 in total. A recon trooper, or a scout trooper, sorry, and a grenadier. I would certainly love it if we could bring all of those legionnaires onto a train here. Although I may regret that later based on the food situation. We'll see. We can go ahead and drop the silent mode. I don't think there's anyone left to fight at this point in the mission.
Samozřejmě.
Let's move our scouts. Recon the area beyond the bridge. So we can
Už jdu.
recon through this? I thought we owned this.
Poslouchám.
Potentially not. I suppose we'll see. The recon skill will uncover parts of the map and reveal enemy positions. So to do this, select a soldier with a scout combat role and then the recon combat ability. Finally, select the spot you wish to reveal. A portion of the fog of war will disappear, allowing you to see potential threats. This will remain in effect until the ability is cancelled. This combat skill is toggleable and must be turned on or off. Movement toggles it off automatically. So it is, in fact, a specific skill here.
Podívám se, co
Oh, that
tam
is
je.
quite a lot of guys. Okay.
Vědí, že jsme tady. Přijdou si pro nás.
Alright.
Připravíme ten kulomet a dáme jim co proto.
All right, so setting up the machine gun here, moving our machine gunner here,
Zaujímám pozíciu.
and using the focused fire skill. So
půjde.
essentially what appears to be an Overwatch skill, so to speak.
Hledám
In addition, we'll set our other soldiers
Bráňte
up.
sa!
Medics are going to stay behind as much as possible. Really don't want you guys to get in the way. I say in the way. I don't want you guys to get hurt.
Zaujímám pozici.
And our other scout will remain here as well. Alright, and it looks like, so this is a deployable
Ostatní
skill.
nejsou tak hloupí, aby proti nám šli poté, co viděli, jak to jejich kámoši koupili na mostě.
Takže povoláme delostrelecký útok a postaráme sa, aby tí hajzli zaplatili za svoje zločiny.
Alright, so we don't want to force him into a position where he can't move it because it looks like he's not going to be able to defend from behind him. Additionally, we also have the ability to use an artillery strike. So let's go ahead and use that here. Oh, the train. Oh, there we go.
Aha, ako to búcha.
And everyone's out of there.
Prišli sme si pre zásoby na cestu.
Let's get our supplies and leave in peace.
A vypadneme odtiaľto.
Tie zásoby sa mi veľmi brať nechce. Červení ich určite ukradli tým dedinčanom.
Vesničané jsou mrtví. A jestli se nepohneme, budeme mrtví i my.
by se stalo.
So I think we're collecting everything that we need
Látky
to
môžeme
here.
použiť na uniformy a deky. Pôjdeme do srdca Sibíry a
Zima se blíží.
pokračujte. To je uhlie. Skvelé. Palivo je tá najcennejšia surovina na našej ceste.
That's
Nie je
just
naša
about
najcennejšia
about
surovina
everything.
jedlo?
Ovšem, v dalším depu bychom si měli koupit lokomotivu, která jezdí na borůvky. A možná bychom mohli pálit borůvky, abychom se ve vlaku přes Sibiř zahřáli.
All right. So, let's see. We need to bring all of our units to the designated area. So you probably need to be undeployed, and then we can move over to here and get everyone into the designated area. We're supposed to find ammo here. I'm wondering if it's this over here. Otherwise, the dead won't miss it.
Dobře, jdu tam.
Perhaps we find it over in the side area here. So we picked that up. Is there any way to get in here? Doesn't look like it, but maybe there is a little bit further on. Let's go ahead and grab everyone here. We can do Control A to grab everyone, which is nice. And our machine gunner will just have to catch up. All right, it does look. Oh, there's the rifle ammo. Okay, perfect.
Ano.
That is the last set of our side mission here.
Ten, kdo tady nechal všechnu tu munici, musí být velmi zdatný s bajonetem.
No, keď mi v guľomete dôjde munícia, je to len bremeno. Jednoducho by som privolal delostrelecký útok.
Perfect. All right. We did save all 3 of our additional squad mates here. Hopefully they will be joining us on the next part of the mission. And then we are able to leave with all 4 squad members. We can assign a medal here. Interesting. Okay, well, first off, I think you deserve a medal for holding the bridge. You deserve a medal for capturing, and you deserve a medal for healing. All right, sorry, Grenadier. But our new Grenadier did the work there. And it looks like because of those medals, we were able to give additional experience to certain soldiers. So Josef is still at 1,000 out of 2,500, whereas Maximilian, Antonin, and Magdalena were all improved to rank 2, which is Lance Corporal. Taking a look at our objectives, we did complete every objective as they came. In addition, we also had the side objectives of completing the supply drops and then rejoining the flock. So very simple, a little bit of XP gear. And then taking a look at the used equipment. So we used a single medical equipment and 2 explosive grenades. We gained 5 sleep flasks, 5 medical equipment, 4 explosive grenades, smoke bombs, and landmines. So that's something I'm going to need to remember here, is that even if we don't necessarily need something on a particular mission, it is absolutely worth grabbing because we may need it in a future mission. So let's go ahead and leave and see what's up next. Back on the train, the soldiers discussed the confrontation with Morozov at the station, as well as the violence the Reds enacted against unarmed villagers. Most, though not all, feel that the artillery strike on the Reds' encampment was justified. Major Gazdik is lost in thought. I think the Reds were expecting us, setting a trap perhaps. What I don't understand is why, and why now? Isn't Captain Longer conducting negotiations in Moscow? Gazdik replies that he is, but we don't know the outcomes of these negotiations. Everyone get to your posts. I have letters to write, and the train is not going to get us to Moscow by itself. Dismissed. All right, and our next quest. Go to Moscow to meet with Longer, who will serve as an advisor. We have new Legionnaires that have joined us. Alfred, Alzbeta, and Dusen. Alfred was the scout, Alzbeta the medic, and Dusen was our grenadier from the past mission. We also received an SRM 1895 sniper rifle, a Nagant revolver, and an M1903 short rifle for each of the roles. So excited to have them onto the team. And I think this is where we're going to call it, guys. So these first 2 missions were, mostly tutorial. We'll touch on the ranking up here in the next mission. I know that that brings them either an additional role or additional points to build into their character. So aside from that, I'm really excited to continue playing this game. It does seem very interesting. I've seen similar games in the past in terms of either the armored train aspect kind of moving along and managing the train, and I've also seen games like Company of Hero, but never quite one that is quite a mix of both. So this is going to be very exciting for me. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, please go ahead and give a like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Anything that you want to know. I may not know the answer, but we're certainly going to find out. Anyway, guys, it was great to play it. Hope you guys have a great evening or morning, depending on where you're watching this from. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.